Hello YouTube. Today's video is going to be about driving 2.5 hours each way to go pick up an engine, and then it's going to be about kind of going through that engine and getting it ready to put in the truck. We won't get it in today, but we will definitely make some progress against it. So it's going to be a fun one, and I am glad you're here to join me. I'm in Mora, New Mexico, and I just picked up my engine. It's beautiful country out here. Anyway, I'm just checking the trailer. The tires feel all right. A lot of tongue weight. I just brought a bunch of tires with me to prevent us from having to crush the oil pan or something like that. All right, I picked up my engine for the F100. And I'm on the road. I've got about a 2 hour and 15-minute drive back home. I'll probably stop for a burger or something. I'm a little bit hungry, but it's back there somewhere. I don't know. You can't see much. Anyway, I've got some of these little mountain roads to do for a little bit, and then I'll be on the interstate for a while, and then I'll be on back roads all the way home. So. Okay, so this is my new engine. It appears to be in really good shape. I stopped by the car wash, covered up the carburetor, and just gave it a hose off on the way in. I figured that was one of the advantages of taking the trailer. I only took the trailer because the guy was out in a field and he didn't have a cherry picker, and all he had was a front end loader. So I knew that getting it into the back of the Element was going to be a problem. It has a brand new clutch on it. I don't know. He said it was a Luke, L-U-K, I think, so it's a pretty good brand. It looks like the disc is in really good shape in there. I'm sure it's got, all new resurfaced stuff back here. I'm gonna look and see what year this is. It does have a fuel pump, so that's good to know. So yeah, it indicates that it's an older motor. I'm going to look under here. I think this is where I usually... So the manifold says, I don't know what that is, E1TE. And so that would be something from 1981. That was when this casting first came out. So it could be 82, 83, anywhere in there. And then usually there's a number under here. I might need a light though for that. Let me grab something. Normally, I think under here you would see the casting number for the block. I don't see that anywhere. Now it doesn't mean I won't see it in a little bit. All I see is this S back here, and then I think I see another one there. I do notice it has cork oil pan gasket on it. It looks like it's a silver engine, silver oil pan, silver valve covers, blue nuts on top. And all the fasteners look like they're blue. Maybe they came off of a Ford Blue engine. Over here we have a little bit of gasket cement around that. Oh, here we go. Here's something. Oh, it just says JR9268. No idea what that is. As I looked the engine over, I started to realize that it was a rebuilt engine. It has little heat tabs that are on the front and back of the heads that are there to melt if the engine gets too hot, and it avoids the warranty if they fall off. So those were still in place, so that's good news. And then that JR number was probably the rebuilder. So good news, I guess. It's been bored. I think it's got larger pistons in it than stock. It's been rebuilt the right way. I do know that the carburetor is Holley, manufactured by Holley for Motorcraft. So it's a 4-barrel Holley made for Ford. It's got an Edelbrock Performer intake that's apparently made in the USA. See what this manifold says. Oh, here we go. That appears to be an E3 TE. So this engine may be even newer than that. I need to count the teeth on this flywheel, because that's going to be important for the bell housing that I have. Alright, so it looks like it's a 164 tooth flywheel, which is what I've got a bell housing for, I believe, so that should be good. Let's pull the plugs. They look rich to me, but they're all evenly rich, so more than likely that carburetor's a little bit rich. I'm going to look down in the cylinders and see what the inside of those cylinders looks like. I was encouraged looking in the cylinders. I could see evidence of hone marks, new parts. Clearly this engine has been rebuilt and it doesn't have a lot of time on it, so I'm pretty excited about that as a nice addition to my new Ford truck. Engine, at this point in time, I just scoped the cylinders and they all look good. There's a tiny bit of rust in one of them, most likely just from sitting. It looks like it was running rich. This belt arrangement that I was looking at, the alternator sits right up here, and we do have a power steering pump in the system. I don't need a power steering pump for the vehicle that I have, but it looks like it's complicated to get it out of here. And generally, you know, this looks like a good solid engine. The other thing I'm thinking about is whether or not, I think once I get it in there, if this doesn't bolt up directly to the exhaust on the truck, which would be a kind of a down and in there, and then back here. If that doesn't mate up, then I may as well just put headers on it and collectors. And I do have a couple of mufflers up here that I could probably use. They're like a 2 1/4 or 2.5 inch. They're vintage California turbos. I could probably come up with some piping from the collectors to a muffler and then just exit in front of the rear wheels. I think that would be kind of cool. It would probably sound good. This carburetor, we'll have to see how well it runs, but I think it's running rich. But we need a carburetor for now. And I was trying to figure out what it was for, and then I started thinking about it, and I have one that I bought a while back, and it's this one right here. I just had it kind of on the wall, and I had bought it when I first got the Falcon, and it's out of a probably mid-80s Ford pickup, Ford truck. It's a 4-barrel, and it looks like it's exactly that carburetor, except that I believe that one's been remanufactured or rebuilt, because it does have a tag on it that says it's been remanufactured. I think I tried to run this one, but I've never taken it apart because I didn't have a kit for it, and it didn't work. I mean, it needs to be rebuilt, but it's just interesting that I already have one of those. But I think that's close to 600 CFM, and that may be more than we need, and so I may end up doing what I did to the Falcon Sprint hardtop that I have, where I've got a 450 CFM carburetor on it, which is more than enough to provide plenty of torque and also make it more, I don't know, fuel efficient in quotation marks there. Well, I was gonna move the alternator over to this side of the engine and get rid of the power steering pump. That was kind of the decision I'd made, and then I started thinking about it, and it makes sense to reuse the brackets and just keep the alternator in its stock location and keep it simple. And so what I'm going to do is I went and got a tool for removing the power steering pulley, because I can't get it off that bracket without pulling that out, because the bolts won't come out. That was harder than it looked. And that is my solution for my belt situation. Okay, here's my plan for the belt. What I'm going to do is I went ahead and, because the old belt was pretty worn, you can see the cracks in it, I cut it up. And I'm going to use it to measure my new belt. Now if you'll look at these, they always have the size is kind of coded into it, and I'm guessing that that's a K06. The 06 is the number of grooves, and 490 is probably millimeters maybe in length. We can probably double check that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on and overlap it and mark it at the smallest setting and then mark it at the largest setting, and then I'm going to get those measurements, and then I'm going to determine a belt size somewhere in between, because you have to be able to relax the belt to be able to get it on, but then you need enough adjustment to be able to tighten it up. So our new belt needs to be somewhere between these two settings measured from the other end. So it looks like I've got a range of, I don't know what that is, probably 65 millimeters to my calibrated eye. Well, shockingly, that's an American measurement, so it's 49 inches long. And what I need is I need a 46-inch long belt. That's a little less than half of the split between the tightest and the longest, and that's only because I'm making sure that whatever I get is going to fit. So I'm going to look and see if that number exists. K060460. That was close, but it was mostly science. I think we're going to call it a day. That's a lot of work that we've done on that thing, and I'm pretty excited. I think the next step is really just to get this shop cleared out a little bit and make some room, see if I can maybe move some stuff around to get the truck in here, and then we'll see about putting this engine in there. In the meantime, I'll track down some bolts for the engine to transmission, and then we should be able to place it and then start playing with figuring out ignition and everything else. Thanks for watching. We'll continue this series on this Ford F100 Bumpside short bed pickup that I've been working on. It's on a budget, and it's going to get done. Thank you.